call. Yes, I got it. I'm a little bit late, but it was because they gave me the wrong PIN number. We understand. So I'm sorry about that. So I can just go ahead and talk a little bit. We would appreciate it. And would you like then, will people be looking for time to ask questions, or is that not what you're looking for? Oh, they're very interested in asking a few questions. Okay, we'll try to figure out the answers then. Okay. By the way, we had a wonderful grand opening for you here. Oh, that's wonderful. I guess first off, I have to tell everybody, give everybody a big thanks for all their effort and work, because it's positively amazing and so impressive on what's going on, especially after this Monday. This was unbelievable what happened on Monday. I can't imagine how much media attention that we've been able to get, but I guess I can't imagine it, because there's hardly a thing that we do now that doesn't get on the internet and on the major news networks now. And people always complain that we're not getting attention. I said, but we're getting more attention now. But I think our campaign has earned it. It took us a while, but we certainly have had a big boost here in the last several days. Yesterday, I stayed in Washington. I did the voting, but I probably had 15 or 20 different types of interviews, and then at 9 o'clock last night I flew up to New Hampshire, and I spent the day up there. I have returned now. I'm in Alexandria because I want to attend a hearing tomorrow. Bernanke will be coming before the Joint Economic Committee, on which I sit. So I thought that the monetary issue was one of the things that I've been most interested in, and is the most serious that we have to deal with in this country today. And all you have to do is look at what's happening to the dollar. So it's really falling right on our lap for further discussion. But today went extremely well, and again, it used to be that we had to go knocking on doors and asking for a little bit of coverage, but from the very beginning this morning, when I got up at 7 in the morning, CNN was at the hotel begging and pleading that they, get on the air because I had no time and wasn't able to fit in going to the studio. So things have definitely changed for the better, and it happened the whole day long. So no matter where we went in the different cities, many people showed up. So that is a very good sign, and we should be very pleased with that. But I just think that the campaign has really changed. And the big issue, of course, this week, I thought it was a big issue at the end of last quarter, and I used to brag about this $1 million we raised, in a week, which was fantastic, and I was absolutely floored with that. But now, with this fundraising here on Monday, I guess everybody's going to remember the 5th of November. So that's all I can see. So I just think that it shows that the message that we have and the things that we believe in is really hitting a chord with so many people. Young people and old people and all kinds are just flocking to us. So I just hope we can keep up this momentum and be able to, carry this on. With money in the bank now, we've certainly been able to order more television and spread this message. So it has been a real delight. I'm rather amazed at the total number of meetup groups that we have now. I think somebody told me we have over 1,100 of them. They're scattered around the world, so there's a very powerful message. It must be that not only is the message great, but the time is right. And the American people are upset, and that's what I see every place I go on the campaign, whether I see people at airports or whatever, they just are disgusted with the lack of responsibility and credibility of our government officials. Last night, as I was going to the airport, a gentleman stopped me in the corridor there, and was a stranger. He had a foreign accent. You might have seen this report on the internet already, but he stopped and he recognized me, and I stopped and shook hands with him. And he said that he was an economist from the IMF, and he thought it was utterly amazing that I brought up and wanted to discuss monetary policy. He agreed with me entirely. He says he even agreed with me on getting rid of the IMF. So I keep thinking that maybe we're really making an inroad when you can get people like that to say that it's about time we talk about monetary policy and limited government, individual freedoms, and the Constitution. So I am very, very pleased that so many of you and the tremendous response we've gotten from your Meetup group, and this is just very, very encouraging. Encourage everybody. Encourages me as well as the other Meetup groups. So that's a very brief update. So if there's a possibility that we can communicate here, and if I can take some questions, I'd be glad to try.
Yes, Dr. Ron Paul. This is Brian Costin, the organizer of the Chicago Meetup group, and we got a lot of great questions from our audience here tonight. We had about at least 100 people here from what our estimates at the opening. It was standing room only. And speaking specifically on what you just talked about, monetary policy, we got a question from Tail Khan from Chicago, Illinois, and he wants to know what steps do you need to take specifically to get rid of the Federal Reserve and return to sound money.
Well, it won't be easy, and I tell people that one switch is not available to us, and even a president alone can't do it. But if a president is elected with that position, it will gain the attention that is necessary to deal with it. If we do nothing with our economy and our monetary policy, this monetary system will collapse, and they will be forced under dire circumstances to bring up some type of new system. If we were sensible about it and practical, what we would do is we would immediately get to a balanced budget position. The only way we can do this, and I've said this many times, is we have to attack the overseas spending, because domestically it would not be very easy to start talking about cutting welfare benefits here at home, at the same time building bridges every place around the world and bombing people and running an empire. So we have to stop the spending, cut hundreds of billions of dollars out of the budget, to the point where we can reassure the markets that our budget will be balanced and not throw anybody out in the streets here. If we do that, at the same time, what we have to do is we have to legalize competition in the currencies. We have to allow gold and silver to be money, which means you have to change the tax code. The president can't do that by himself, and we've been complaining all this time about too much power in the executive branch. We can't use it illegally. So the Congress would have to respond, and the people would have to respond and understand why it's so important. But this is a tremendous opportunity right now to do it, because everybody knows the dollar, you can't avoid seeing what's happening in the markets. The dollar is losing its value, and this will be translated in a short period of time into even higher inflation, lower standards of living, and higher interest rates. So the people are ripe for this message. That's why I think this campaign is so important. It's the first time in more than 100 years that monetary policy has ever been brought up in a presidential campaign.
We had a